and it can vary a bit when you look at the game in itself anyway. But I think the players seemed comfortable with what they were trying to do. He'd obviously motivated them in his team talk, go out there and play as you can, be the real Manchester United. There's all sorts of things that a new manager could say to them, given what's been happening, where I feel their instructions haven't been clear, or maybe they've been uncomfortable playing the roles that Amorim asked them to. As I say, I actually think Amorim's a very good manager. But yeah, Michael Carrick's had a clear impact. But as I say, it has to be the case that the players also have been responsible for their performances. And we have to say their performances have not been good for quite a long time, really. So I don't know what Carrick's got. He was managing Middlesbrough, wasn't he? Amongst the ones, I think that's where he came from. And he was doing pretty well with them, I think. So, and he was a good footballer in his day as well for Manchester United, and I think before that for Tottenham. So I don't know. We'll have to see what he's like. Some managers in the Championship are good there, and they're not always so good in the Premier League. A case in point could be Frank Lampard, who's managing Coventry to great heights at the top of the Championship, and it looks like they're going to come up. Okay, it's early days relatively, but he's doing a great job. And again, there's been murmurs that he could be in Palace's sights. But even if he is, I would have thought if he brings Coventry up, I would think he'll want to stay with them to see how their first season goes. So he's doing a good job there. But yes, so you can get very good managers in the lower leagues who are not quite so good in the Premier League. So I don't know where that where that would leave Carrick. You can't argue if he does a really great job this next few months to the end of the season, they will probably give him the job. And why not? I mean, if he does that, it will be a turnaround of the inconsistencies before. So if they can do that, well and good. But let's wait and see. We might find at their game at the weekend, they almost revert back to what they've been like and lacking a bit of confidence, a bit of unsureness about things. But let's be fair, they've got some very good footballers. I mean, is it Corgu on the right, the guy who is that his name, Corgu, something like that?
Yeah.
I mean, he scored an excellent goal. He was poaching that goal when it came across. They were just a different team. Totally different team. And,
It was a different
I think you have to take account a managerial bounce. Any new, maybe even the tea lady, if she'd taken over from Amorim, how it's been, maybe she could have gotten them playing. Or the tea man. We shouldn't just say a tea lady, should we? The tea man. The tea man had got to be the manager. He probably would have turned it round. Goodness, even you, Cuz, if you'd been the manager, you probably would have got a good result on
Thank
Saturday. But seriously, no. But that's what I'm saying. Any new manager will get a bounce, a bump. And if they can maintain that, then they're in business. But it's not easy. As I say, the Premier League is probably the most competitive, maybe the toughest, physically toughest league in the football world. So, things go up one day and down the next. It's highs and lows, and that's why the top teams are the cream, because they pinch all the best players as well, as I've said before.
Yeah. And of course he had all the players back, didn't he? Because Ahmed was in the African Cup of Nations, and so was
Yeah,
Mbeumo. And them two were back. But as a team, they played well. They played like a team. You see what I mean? There
they
was no
did.
individual football there. Now, who I was going to talk about next is Bruno Fernandes. So this is what Henry Thierry. Henry has to say. Thierry
Thierry
Henry, sorry.
Henry.
Thierry Henry has to say on Bruno Fernandes. He says this guy is not playing football. He's thinking about it. That's a different ball game for me. Um, Now I know it's a compliment.
Is
Um,
it?
well,
Is it?
what do
Is
you
it a
think?
compliment?
Well, I think it's a compliment. I think it's a compliment. Now
Say
there
it
was
again. He's not playing football. Say it again.
so it says this guy is not playing football. He's thinking about it. That's a different ball game for me. So, well, it depends. What
Yeah, I see.
do you not think is a
Yeah.
compliment?
Well, when you first said it, no, I didn't. I thought it was. It sounded a bit insulting, but actually, what he you got to try and think what he actually means.
Yeah.
And
Well,
maybe he's
maybe if
saying
I,
he's not playing foot. He's not playing
yeah,
football. In other words, he's not just mechanically going through passing here, doing this, that, and the other. He's actually got a football brain which he's using. So maybe that's what he meant. In which case, that he's talking about his good football brain, which of course he has got. I
yeah,
say again, I defer to nobody in my praise or admiration for Bruno Fernandes. It was
yeah. You said
noticeable
it.
when he was injured recently. First time for a long time, he's been a bit of an ever present there. But he's I would describe him as a master footballer. He's got vision. Is probably what Thierry Henry was saying. He's got
Yeah.
some players have a great football brain. Some don't. They just mechanically go through the motions. Okay, he can still be good, but a good football brain, he will see that pass. He will know where his teammate will be without even
Mm,
looking sometimes. It's a
mm,
sixth sense that some players have. But what I like about Bruno is that whenever he gets the chance, wherever he is, he will try and put that ball in. He'll put a cross in because he knows goals come from that. He knows that's kind of one of the oldest truisms of football. When you got the ball and you get near the opponents, put the ball into the centre where you've got two or three of your players, and perhaps one in three times you'll score a goal. And he's
mm.
got that about him. I don't know any other player, even wingers. When you see a great player like Saka at Arsenal, and I say he's a great player, his dribbling ability is phenomenal. And that's what he's good at as well, amongst other things. And he'll try and dribble his way around people, often successfully, and then put it over. So he's got that ability to do that. But someone like Fernandes, he just pumps that ball over time and time again. And I think when he was missing with an injury recently, they noticed it, they missed him because if you don't have that drive from midfield, sort of attacking midfield player with a great passing ability as well, a great football brain, you miss that. So yeah, I can only think and hope that that's what Thierry Henry meant. It was his football
Mm,
brain he was praising.
mm. Yeah. Now, you're right, because this is the next thing that he then says. He says, doesn't just pass the ball for the sake of passing it. This guy thinks he made that happen. Yes, I know people will say it's easy. It's not easy. So, it kind of
Yeah,
what you're saying, exactly what
yeah,
you're saying about him. He's a really, undoubtedly, undoubtedly, he's a good footballer. Um,
absolutely. Yeah.
But in the last game, I saw a different Bruno Fernandes. One that I don't know what's been sort of constricting his ability to shine, but he really shined.
Mm.
And he's not greedy. He's not greedy. He doesn't want to tally up his goal scoring numbers. He's quite happy to let somebody else
Mm.
score the goal, which is a great um, it's a great sportsmanship. Um,
Great team
for
man,
his,
isn't he?
yeah, to have, and so
Yeah.
yeah, so he's a really a good one. I like him. Now I've only got 2 minutes. Vincent Company. This is what he says about Harry Kane. He says Harry Kane has so much experience and knows exactly when and where to move into the gaps. He is constantly communicating with his teammates. He finds a good balance between distance and proximity to the defenders. He's always very attentive when it comes to second balls or rebounds. He can also score goals from range. Now, everything else I agree with. Can he score goal from range? It doesn't strike
Yeah,
me like,
yeah. No, he doesn't strike you as a volleyer of the ball
mm,
like some players have been or are from great distance. I'm sure probably in training he will thump the ball in from various ranges. But I don't. Yeah, that's not really his hallmark. Even though I'm sure he can do it, and Vincent Kompany would know better than most what he can do. But it's not a hallmark of his. I think he's an excellent goal poacher. He's got, again, this uncanny sixth sense, this great football brain like Fernandes. He knows, I mean, some of his, he will shield the ball when he wins it, much better than most. And he'll put across a long 50-yard pass and land it to his teammate on a sixpence. Brilliant footballer.
Yes, yeah. It's a shame we can't talk much about him today. Well, probably next week. But this is all we've got time for. You've been listening and watching The Football Referee with myself, Emmy Hikins, and he calls me Cos.
And me, Trevor Gear, and he calls me bruv.
So join us again next week for another interesting episode of The Football Referee. It's a goodbye from me.
Goodbye from me too.